Good evening. I'm David Rubin, the Brown Foundation Curator of Contemporary Art here at SAMA, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the latest in our ongoing series of artist conversations, and I'm especially honored to welcome tonight's guest, Ángel Rodríguez-Díaz.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before we begin, you've heard this before, please turn off your cell phones if you haven't done so already. I also want to thank the sponsors of our July conversations, the San Antonio Office of Cultural Affairs and SAMA Contemporaries. Many of you are members of SAMA Contemporaries, and your membership dollars help support this evening's program. To begin, you want to tell us a little bit about the place where you were born here, which we're looking at a view of?
Well, San Juan, Puerto Rico, to be more specific, Santurce, of the island. And then this particular area that you see is Bayamón, which is where I grew up. It was one of the first urban developments in the island in about late 50s and 1960s.
And
this was his third grade. And when I walked into that room, she had everything so beautifully decorated, all kinds of things. She would teach everything from math to English and Spanish, everything. And I was sort of like taken aback when I walked into that room, and I fell in love with her. And really, because she was such a beautiful human being. And I've always remembered her because she sort of like sparked something in me that kind of triggered creativity. Moved on to fourth grade, and it was just a few buildings away from this one. I had seen this illustration of doves, and they had a wing that would stick out, so it was three-dimensional. And it was all cardboard, and I copied it. And I showed it to her, and she loved it. So then she gave me the assignment to decorate the frieze with, I don't know how many, like 20 of those doves.
And how old were you in this picture?
Well, this is, I guess,
Teen Idol.
I guess you recognize the fashion, 1970s. I was about 17 years old, and I forgot where this was taken, but my parents became born-again Christians, actually, and my father started going to the seminary, and I'm the eldest in the family, so I was just trying to kind of find something that gave me some meaning, because my mother at the time had passed away. So, and I'm the eldest out of six.
Oh, wow.
And so I was supposed to help them out and take care of them. So then I enlisted in a seminary to study the Bible. And
How long were you in the seminary?
2 years. And
So that's pretty serious study.
yeah, it was. And then I entered the University of Puerto Rico after that, and I just forgot about everything else. And I just wanted to focus.
Art became your religion, right? Yeah.
Basically.
And these are amazing photographs of you at work. How old were you here?
About 18, 17. And this was a friend that was a photographer, and I was in preparation for my first one-person show at the Carnegie Library in the Old San Juan. And they had a gallery, and I just had seen a coverage in the newspaper, Sunday paper, of this other fellow, friend, contemporary, that I didn't know him, but I knew about his work. And I read this review, and I said, wow, this is pretty good. So I decided to start working. Well, actually, I went to the library. I interviewed with the lady that was in charge, and I told her, well, if this guy had a show here, I would like to have a show here too. And she saw some of my samples, some of the drawings, she liked them. So I worked the rest of the year on the show, and opened the following summer. And it was very well received. It was covered by the press, very good critique, and I sold most of the work. So that was very good.